This is Prometheus, guys, giving you more to the meta. So, guys, I want to talk about one of the new additions to this game. Is by far probably the best addition to Madden, I would say probably in 10 years. This addition was something that I've been craving, at least a variation of it, and they actually put it into the game. And this is and if you start applying this addition into your practice of this game, you will become a better Madden player overnight, because it's going to force you to be better a quarterback and make better reads. So I want to talk about the new feature on defense, which is the shell feature. So if you go and look down to the very bottom, there's an area that says shell, and it says shell default. You can actually go ahead and change that to a cover 0 shell, a cover 2 man shell, a cover 2 zone shell, a cover 3 zone shell, a cover 4 zone shell, and a cover 6 zone shell. Now, why this is important is that this actually tacks onto some defensive strategies that I've shared with you guys in the past, where I talked about how you can use the show defense to confuse your opponent and get easy interceptions, because if your opponent knows how to beat certain shells, it becomes very difficult. So let's just go ahead and jump into a basic default coverages. And I want to show you on how you can read coverages. If you know, a more experienced Madden player can read coverages by some of the tells that the game is built out. So I want you to take a look. I always call plays in the game where essentially I call a run play, where the lines are actually going to go ahead and have straight lines for running blocking. And I do that because it gives me an easy tell on the alignment. So if you take a look at the defender on the right side with Collins, he's slightly shaded to the outside, but the defender over Dell is slightly shaded on the inside. And these guys are back in depth. What this essentially means is that these guys are playing a cover 6 defense. What I can do is, if I know it's a cover 6, I can jump into a draw play or some type of a cover 6 beater with the idea that basically these guys are going to fall back. So I want you to watch what's going to happen. This guy should fall back into coverage. This guy falls back into coverage. He falls back into coverage. The guys in the middle of the field who are playing run fits are supposed to stop the run. They fall back in the middle of the coverage and don't react until I basically cross the line of the field. And that's because he showed me cover 6. I can read it with my run play art, and I can read that. I can actually jump into a play that I know is going to expose that. Now, if you take a look at the defenders, you've got a 2 high safety look, you've got 2 high safeties, but you also have guys pressed down, and they're all slightly shaded on the inside. So, in a basic default setting, this is cover 2 man, and what I can do is I can jump into a cover 2 man beater against my opponent. So, if I have certain routes that I know that can beat man press coverage, I can go and expose them. So this is where the brilliance of this particular setting really helps, and it will also help you defensively too. If you struggle at defense, I would say probably just come out of basically a cover 2 man shell and just call another base play out of the top of the coverage, and just call it cover 3 or cover 4 or something like that. But show your opponent the same look. All top Madden players, people that play this game all the time, are constantly showing their opponent the same look on defense, and they're shifting the coverage on the back end of it and making their opponent make post-snap reads. So if you want to be a better Madden player, you don't want to give your opponent any kind of tells. So one of the best things you could do is basically go ahead and switch into a shell. Cover 2 man is good because the guys are all pressed down, and if you're like me, when I see press coverage, it frustrates me because I don't have easy, fast passing lanes, and I can't hit outs. Sometimes it's difficult to hit slants and stuff like that, unless I know for sure I can throw over the top of it, it is frustrating defense to play against. So that's what you want to do. And we're going to play random defenses. So I want to show you on how this particular defense is basically a cover 1 man. So if this was a cover 2 man, this guy should fall back into a zone, but you can see he bites in the middle of the field. That's not something that normally happens. This guy kind of bites in the middle of the field and comes down. So if a guy's running what I perceive to be some type of a man beater, I jump into a man beater. But you could see this defender actually peeled off and didn't give me the man read that I was looking for. So I'm looking to this route because I know it's going to beat man. He releases, but look what happens. This guy peels off and then comes down and bites, and I could get intercepted because I'm not reading my coverages correctly, because I'm assuming this is cover 2 man and this area should be wide open. So that's what makes this game interesting now, is because you can really mess up your opponent's reads and give them the show type of a look, and they're not really going to know what you're going to do until after the snap. So we have a tool now in place that you can basically disguise your coverage the entire time, have that press look that's so frustrating to stop, but also put yourself in a situation where your opponent might have to go ahead and make pre-snap reads. And once I realized this feature was in there, I started immediately practicing in this show 2-man defensive shell, because I know this is going to make me a better Madden player. So guys, I would definitely encourage you to start using this when you're practicing. If you're practicing schemes, you want to use the show cover 2 shell, the cover 4 shell, the cover 3 shell. This will make you a better Madden player. So once again, guys, thanks for your support. If you want to see more tips on how I run my offense, how I run my defense, I do whiteboard breakdowns and stuff like that. But I would say that if you are looking to lab and get better at this game, this is by far the most important feature in the practice mode, and you have to jump into it and start using it right away. Thanks for your support, guys. Until next time.